Okay, so now we're going to look at the cars video. Now, one thing that I probably should have brought to your attention was whenever again, this is more of a Windows thing, I went to the actual demo server. Remember the one that kept crashing on us? And if you run it as administrator, it seems to run just fine. So that's another Windows thing. So let's start and then run as admin administrator. And now you can see it's actually running. So we'll come back to that one because we're not going to use that one right now anyway. But the one thing I wanted to show is whenever you start up the Cars app, here's the loans. Here is the, and that's what I mean by 4 different containers. Here's the inventory. Basically, the container in this means they're independent from each other, okay? So here's the ESB, which is our middle tier. And then here is our web, okay? So I'm going to minimize these. We're going to keep them running. Now, you don't have to start all those. There's a bat script that starts, well, you start one and it starts the others. This is the app. Now, I like the app. It's a very nice app. We have our inventory here, which is one. Our VPN, well, these two are kind of the same, but that's our back end, right? Our loan application, and then our loan status. Now, we're going to look at all these, but it wants you to sign in for these because you look at the person. So we'll get that when we get to it. Most important we look at right now is the cars. Now, the cars are really cool. I can click on View Details, and then I can search the VIN number. Okay, and it gives me more details. I hit the back button. I probably should have hit the home key. So that's what we're going to look at now. More importantly, if I do this unlock, this tells me the URL to the backend. Now, it's very important to capture that. So let's go ahead and capture that to a notepad. Okay. Now, this is going to be our ESB. Our live, let's define it. Okay, our live ESB. Our backend. And now let's go ahead and leave it as is for now because we'll come back in a few minutes. The other thing too is notice it changes my buttons over here too, where I can edit and delete these, but that's a relative. So now let's go into our dev test portal. What we're going to do first is create a project. It's a relative. I don't even think you have. Yeah, you don't have to have a description. It just makes it look cool. Okay, so we're going to say yes, close. We're going to refresh, even though you probably don't have to. And we're going to go demo to web. Okay. Now, first thing we do is go create. Now, you have a lot of stuff, and that's what I'm saying. You automatically get all this other stuff for dev test, these test suites, copybook information. You get application insight. That's the CIA that I was talking about. You get all this stuff installed when you install this. Okay. But we're focusing only on service virtualization. Now we're going to call this single record. Now there's some rules to the naming. I can't have spaces. You can't start with certain characters. What we call single recording. I like to put at the beginning what it is so I know. So this is cars. I don't need a description, but you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Recording. We'll call it live record. One car. Okay. Now here's the VSE. If I have more than one, remember I told you earlier, it wants to know what the VSE is. If I have more than one, I can go to it. Okay. We only have the one, and then so let's go ahead and go. Oh, and my protocol. So we talked about the protocols, right? Now this is the web, so it's kind of limited, but we're going to HTTP is what we're doing here, and let's go next. So this is where the action actually happens. Now, I can do a list, and you can see me do this later, and I can see previous ones already did. I said your protocol, but you can change it here as well. Okay, I like to go ahead and use advanced mode, even though at this point it doesn't really do much for us. It gives an extra checkbox. We'll get to that later. Now, client. We need to stick the recorder. Right now, it goes from client to the backend, right? Portal to backend. So what we're going to do first, if you remember, I said we need to capture that URL. So let's go ahead and grab it. Oops. Now, common sense, it has to be able to get to it, but this doesn't have to be local. In my case, it's local. Notice it's yellow. If I click away, it turns green, which means now we're good. Now, VS now sees that there is a backend. So now what we're going to do is activate the recorder. Okay, so we're going to grab this port. Now you can change the port, but in this case it gave us the default port. Common sense is you can't use one that's already given. I recommend use the one that's there. Okay, so VS record port. Okay, and then so sorry, I'm getting pinged on Skype also. I know that's not professional, but what we're going to do now is we say, okay, we got this. We've got our client, we know our recorder, and now we got this. And I hope this makes sense. All we're doing, this is the portal that points to the back end. We need to say portal, go through our recorder so we can see the transactions that are going to the back end and let them continue through. Don't stop them, don't do anything with them. Okay. And even though this is funny, I think this is cute. Even though I'm saying it's HTTP, I can say it's SSL down here as well. But I just want to bring that to your attention because you think it would have HTTPS up here, but it doesn't. Anyway, all right, so where are we? Let's go to our portal now, which is here. Now, for some reason, caching really got me the other day on this. I have it in IE because I can clear the cache a lot easier, but it doesn't really matter, okay? We're going to go here. We're going to unlock, and the only thing we're going to change is our port, okay? And we're going to set it. So what that's saying is this is telling the portal where to connect to for the back end. But we're tricking it because we're not really going to the back end. It's going to our recorder. Okay, I hope that makes sense because that's very important. So we're going to lock it. Let me just see if I can nail that down. So first we have our front end, which is what we call our portal, talking to our back end, okay, which is our ESB. The only thing we did is we said, hey, front end, I need you to connect. I need you to connect to VS Visual Services, not Visual Studio, Visual Services, and I need Visual Services to go ahead and connect to the back end. So that's really all we did. All right, so now that that's set, we're going to go home and we're going to go activate our recorder. So we're going to say start. Okay, and now it's recording. It doesn't say recording, so stop recording. That's kind of your key that it's recording. Okay, so we're going to go search. We're going to pick on our beautiful Audi here. Click. Now this is our this would be your sponsor request. Okay, and that brings back our response. Okay, so I asked for this and it brought that back. I'm highlighting this 214 because it's kind of important. And now we're going to go back. We're going to go over here. Whoops, sorry, wrong one. We're going to go over here and we're going to stop our recording. Now, if you notice, we have 8 transactions. Okay. Now I can look at them now, but I'm going to go ahead and stop. And there's the request that we did. Now I might have said that backwards, but the point is we sent a request, we got the response. Okay. Now in this case, our request was this 214 car. Okay. Now you're going to see this enough, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But this tells me the transactions I went through. So we're happy with this. We had 8 transactions. We're going to say next. Here is remember that one slide I said it gets kind of confusing where you have your protocols, right? So the one protocol was the HTTP. That's how you're communicating. Well, the data that's being transferred is this request protocol here, okay? And in this case, I believe it's JSON, if I remember correctly. Pretty positive it is. But in our case, it should have picked it up automatically, which I'm really surprised it didn't. But we're using REST. Oh, you know what? Just REST. I'm sorry. Bam. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, that's fine. And now we don't care about this one because it picked that one up. Let's go next. Here's our rules that we have. Now the rules are important and we're going to talk about that as we go. What's most important is if we look at unmatched traffic, we have none. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say save and continue. And all we're going to do right now is save this to our portal. And then I'll go back in a few seconds to show you how to deploy it. But right now, and the other cool thing too is I can make this a baseline for tests, which is pretty cool. We'll do a video on that as well later. But let's go ahead, and that's kind of the whole marriage of using dev test with service virtualization. But let's just go ahead and save it. We want to keep it simple for the first time. And there you go. So you've created your very first recording. Okay, so if we look at, we were over here, I'm sorry, we were over here when our recording, once our recording's done, we go over here and manage, we can see our recording, and now the only thing we do is deploy it. Now deploy it, we have an option to download the file, so if you're creating one environment, want to upload it to another, just back it up or anything like that, we can do that. Open it up in the client if you want to do some work on it. We can create the baseline, which is pretty cool. That was a checkbox we showed earlier, but the only thing we do right now is deploy. So we're going to give it a tag, which is just a way to put it together, right? So we'll call this demo cars. That's pretty long. We'll just say demo cars. If we had a different VSE, now your think time scale is pretty cool. It is what it is, right? So it's a think time. So if my app normally takes 5 minutes to respond back, or my service, right, because it's doing some stuff in the back end, then I can change my think time here. 100% means it responds back right away. So we're going to deploy this one. All right, and then we're going to go down here. It says it's deployed. We're good. We can close this little message tag here. I like to hit refresh, even though technically you don't need to. If I go to VSEs, I'm on page 2. Page 1 has a lot. So I'm going to page 2. And I'm going to hit refresh. Notice it's here and it's still running. Okay. So now let's go back to our app. Now, if I go to search, and our backend is still the same, so we haven't changed it. But notice our cars look pretty good, right? Because it's still using the previous. Now, not the previous, I'm sorry. You just have to, we'll talk about the RTech later. I don't want to get too far into it because we'll do that in a demo. But the point is here, this car still looks the same. Okay, our numbers are good. It is the Audi. But now if I go look at a different car, let's say we didn't do the BMW, right? Notice there's no data. There's no VIN. There's nothing there. Reason being is because it is now hitting our service versus going to the original backend. So that data is not going to be there. Okay, so let's go ahead before we do anything else. Click home. And if I go here, notice I have my transactions as 16. So I can go and actually, we can go and look at those transactions. All right, the most recent transactions on top. So it goes in that order. So if you want to know order, it goes in. But notice here, I have the 214 data, okay? And I'm good with that. But then if I go, it talks about the stateless match and all that. We'll get to that in a few minutes. I can actually see the data that came back, okay? And then if I go up here at this other one, our 877, there is no data for it. Okay, because it came back as blank, remember? So anyway, so that's how you basically, we did a very quick recording and then we just deployed it and we kept it running while it's, you know, so now what happens is our front end is constantly hitting our virtual service and not the back end. Now I'm going to do some more videos right after this, do a little bit more advanced stuff. So bear with me.